This is not financial advice, and you cannot sue me if you go into the market and you lose some money on your own. You feel me? This is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor, and if you lose money on the market, which is highly probable, you cannot sue me. Amen. Let's get into it. So today, like I said, we're just gonna go through the alphabet and break down some stock market terms, and then I'm gonna go into how these terms. My main focus is to teach you how these terms matter for your kids, because you know you're probably gonna leave this earth before they do. But let's just go. You start off with A. A for asset allocation. Diversification. I know we're jumping ahead to the D's and all of that, but the most important part when you start off with this, and we know that we're going for ownership. We want ownership. You have got to start off with making sure that you are invested in multiple asset classes. Y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me okay? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Can y'all hear me okay? You have to make sure that you are invested in multiple asset classes. Why? Because if all we're invested in is stocks, if all we invested in is companies, do y'all trust any of these billionaires out here to do for your child, your grandchild, your great-grandchild? Do y'all trust Elon Musk company to put your grandchildren through college? Okay, amen. And this is why we do not invest in just stocks. You cannot put all your hopes and dreams on some billionaires that don't care about you. You want to make sure that you also have cash, but not that cash should be the least amount of assets that you have, to be honest. You want real estate, whether it's property or it's land. And if I'm being totally honest, with what I know now, I'm working so that I have more bonds in my portfolio than I do stocks. And the reason why is because a bond, the government have to pay me for that. You got to pay me. It's lower risk, it's steady returns. You're not watching a chart. You simply go and buy a bond from the government so that they don't have to pay it back. They thank you for holding it for them, and they pay you. What can be wrong with that? It sounds scary because it's information that, I mean, I'm going to assume if you in this Wall Street Ben Black class, I'm going to assume this is some information that you did not grow up hearing about. But I don't know, I put a post up on Instagram today where I said that I'm the last generation that's going to say, I don't know how to do that. Mute your mics. Is there an echo? Is there still an echo? All right. Absolutely the last generation that's going to say that, like, I don't know how to do something. You know what I'm saying? So just getting into all of this is very, very important. And right now, if there's nothing else that I want y'all to take away from this, because remember, I'm going through this alphabet from the standpoint of what you're going to be able to do for your legacies, for your kids, right? If y'all don't take nothing else away from this, cash, money, that ain't going to do shit for your children. It's not going to do nothing for them. It's not going to do anything for them. Nothing. If we spent $1, if I bought a candy bar for $1 in 2010, I'm buying that candy bar for like $1.50 right now. By the time my godkids grow up, they're 11, they're gonna be buying that candy bar for $2. Cash should be your lowest asset percentage. Lowest asset percentage. All right. B for brokerage accounts. Now, Fidelity and Charles Schwab, do not open up an account for your children in Robinhood. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You cannot use Robinhood. Why? It's in the name, y'all. Come on. They robbing from the hood. Like, come on. It's in the name. Do not put your children's future in Robinhood. I understand that it is an easy platform to use. They're getting you on the back end with all the fees, and it adds up. It adds up. Because you're doing this, you investing for the next 20, 30 years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Robinhood is great for beginners, but this is not where you put your long-term wealth and all of that things in there. It needs to be Fidelity, Schwab, SoFi, one of those, okay? Now, the easiest one to open up is Fidelity. The easiest one to open up is Fidelity. I'm talking about it take you 10 minutes. All you're gonna need is your child's name, birthday, social security, and you're ready to go. You can set them up a retirement account in 15 minutes or under. And another reason why I like Fidelity, because I told y'all I was gonna come in and I'm just gonna give y'all advice. And you cannot sue me. Okay? Can't do it. Amen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all some advice with Fidelity. On this one, they even have like this feature where after you have invested at least 250,000. Hold on. I didn't look. Don't lose it. Hold on. You still here? Y'all will make $250,000. I promise you. But after you've made like that $250,000, they'll start giving investments to the kids. They'll give free classes to the kids that they can sign up and take. You're able to set up an IRA, which we're going to get into that. You're able to set up custodial accounts, auto investing, just all of that. Okay. And I also want to say A for auto investing. Somebody asked me the other day, do you invest every week? I said, hell yeah. It was like, how do you remember to do it every week? Technology works in my favor. It's set up automatic. The only things that I have set up for auto pay, what is it called? Auto pay? Yeah, is my mortgage and my investment account. If my cell phone bill get turned off, at least I don't have to talk to y'all. Cool. If the Wi-Fi get turned off, I got my cell phone. Cool. But that my mortgage and that investment account, need that. Right? Now for yourself, I would suggest going to Charles Schwab. And again, this is a personal choice. It's really like if somebody comes up to you and says, what bank should I put my money in? Well, baby, some people might say Wells Fargo, but we're investors. We're fully aware. Don't put your money in Wells Fargo. Don't do that, right? But I could say JP Morgan, and other people would say, well, they to this, to that, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a personal decision. Make sure you just go onto the sites and check them out, the pro cons, know what it is that you want. But from my opinion, I'm gonna straight up tell y'all, Fidelity is best for minors, and Charles Schwab is best for, that'd be good for you. Fidelity is good for you too, but we go there. So C, compound interests. Y'all take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. I figured out how I'm gonna start getting on social media and saying it. Instead of saying, I know how to make $1,000 a day, which we do. I know now what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna ask people, how much do you make a week? What's your hourly pay? All right, you make $20 an hour. I'm gonna teach you how to make $40 an hour. Buy in, and you can do it through investing. We wanna do that. We could even go monthly. When we talk in the compounding, you really wanna look at this from a monthly standpoint. Like when we're going through our profit and loss. Don't do this with, don't look at this day to day, week to week. Don't do that, because the price of Apple is gonna go up, down, around the corner, back around, and down to your grandma's house, all that, okay? Look at this month to month, quarter over quarter, because it compounds. If you put in $100 every week, let me even bring it down. If you put in $25 every week into a growing, stable, consistent company, that just grows. It grows with you. Your profit is gonna go with you. So it's about consistency. Now, what we want is to wake up and be a millionaire in one day. Yeah, that's not gonna freaking happen. You're gonna have to work for it. But give it about a year of consistency. Yay. Now let me know in the chat real quick before we continue on into the dividends and everything. Do I have anyone in here who is investing consistently? I don't even care if it's every quarter or every month, but do you have a consistent routine to where you're putting money into your child's account? And I'm finna say something, because y'all know how I get when I start talking about y'all and y'all kids. So the shoe finna fit a lot of people, okay? But I love y'all. So let me know. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is anyone consistently investing in their children's accounts? Okay, I got some yeses, I got some no's, and I appreciate the honesty, period. The no's are coming in. I got it. Question, for those who said no, when you were 25, did you call your mom or your parent or anything? One of your parents, grandparents, any guardian, whatever. You call them and you say, Hey, I just got this bill and I don't know what to do with it. Y'all ever have to call someone in your family and say, what do I do with this? How do I save money? How can I get a loan? How can I do, et cetera, et cetera? One for yes, two for no. All the time. Well, dang. You just gonna keep going at the pace you're going and make your child have to grow up and say they don't know how to do something, or you gonna get it together now? Oof. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love you guys. You need to start consistently investing in them. And a lot of times people will say, well, I don't have the money to invest. Yeah, you do. You just spending it somewhere else. You just spending it on a trend, something that's transactional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put it over there. And it compounds again. So where you thinking like, oh, okay, this $2 candy bar. What are you buying a candy bar for anyway? Do you want diabetes or do you want wealth for your child? I'm just asking. So D is for dividends. We love these. If your child is under 18, you really one of the main portfolios that you want to focus on is a dividend portfolio. Some of these companies pay you just for owning them. They will literally pay you every quarter, some of them every month, just because you own them. One of my favorite dividend stocks is Johnson and Johnson for my kids. Because why? All they do is use Johnson and Johnson products. When the last time anybody bought in the month of May, did anybody buy a Johnson and Johnson or Procter and Gamble product? So you're talking about the baby lotion, tissues, toilet tissue, paper towels in the month of March or the month of May. Anybody buy all that? I appreciate you doing that. You helped me get paid last month. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure that y'all get in there and y'all are investing in dividend stocks as well. Okay. It just pays. And we got 18, let's just say you got 10 plus years with your kiddos and you're doing all of that. Johnson and Johnson is a flipping, oh, I want to say it's less than $100. And again, we don't have to put, it's $155. Okay. You don't have to buy a full share of this, but we'll talk about it. And every quarter, they're paying you $1.30 for each piece of the pie that you own. You get an additional $1.30. Now, what do you think that we're gonna do for a child's account, a minor's account, a minor's dividend portfolio? What are we gonna do with the dividend payout? We're gonna take it and put it right back into their portfolio. Oh my God, y'all are so smart. Exactly. With the compound investing, if we go back to here, if you consistently invest a minimum of $50 a week for the rest of your child's life, when they turn 18, your child will be very close to being a millionaire. I just feel like I can't see myself. I can't see my kids. I can't see them still living. I want more. I want more. And it's okay to want more. And it's okay to openly say and to talk to them about that there's more out there to do. Which leads me into the ETFs. This is, other than dividends, this is the number one thing that you should focus on putting into your child's portfolio. So an ETF, I want y'all to think of it as like a basket, an Easter egg basket. Or maybe I got my purse in front of me, so we'll say this. So let's say that you had your airport purse. You know what I'm saying? So inside your airport purse, you're gonna have some lotion, some hand sanitizer. You might have some snacks, some drinks you're trying to sneak on the plane. You know, whatever it is you're doing. You might maybe have a blanket, a little neck pillow, and all of this stuff. They're all in different categories. They're all different items, but they're all on theme. This is what you need to travel. The things that's in your airport bag are your immediate needs while you're traveling. You feel me? And if we go with the Easter egg basket analogy, we got an Easter egg basket, and then inside of the basket, we have multiple Easter eggs in it that all have different candies in it. The pink egg might have chocolate, the yellow one will have some jelly beans, whatever. There's all diabetes, right? Might have all of that stuff in there. So then oh, oh, not y'all saw me. No, y'all didn't. So with these baskets, this is the best thing for you to invest in because it's just easy. It is so easy, okay? So I want to know in the chat, and I only got a couple people here in person, but I want to know in the chat too and here, what is something that your kids ask for all the time? Pizza. Pizza. She ain't talking
My
yet.
brother, no, everything I got.
She asked for everything. What are y'all? Starbucks. Amen. Cookies. Okay, so we getting snacks. So what is one place that you can think of where you can go and get a variety of snacks? Where can we go shopping for a variety of snacks? Target, period. Walmart, all right. And we got Costco, Sam's Club, Kroger's, all that stuff, right? What if you don't want to invest in every single one of them individually? You can simply invest in a basket or an ETF that has, oh, what's the word? That has is going to give you exposure to all of the grocery stores. So if you say, dang, every month I'm spending about $500 at the grocery store. This company is probably $1 billion company and I want a piece of that pie. Instead of buying Walmart, Target, Costco, Kroger's, Albertsons, all of that individually, just buy the basket. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, the basket for all of those, and I'm wholeheartedly trying, we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna make y'all tell me, is XLP. That ain't it. Mind y'all's business. This, I would never tell y'all to buy $1,000 ticker. This one, $82. You're gonna have exposure to all those grocery stores, Johnson and Johnson, Procter and Gamble. So this is the Easter egg basket or ETF that is for consumer staples. It's in the name. It's the staples that consumers have to buy all the time. Toothpaste, soap, all that good stuff, okay? In 2025, with the man that we got up in that office, how do y'all feel that the consumer staples is gonna do? How do we feel consumer staples is gonna do in 2025? Y'all worried about bills? About groceries going higher? So if the prices for the grocery store goes up, the grocery store is gonna do what? Make more money, right? Clocks. I wanna make more money with consumer staples this year. If we just looking at this as just an average everyday person, we have a lot to complain about for the next 3.5 years. If we look at this as intelligent investors, boy, tax the whole freaking world. Tariffs on everything. Tariffs on it all, to be honest. Put tariffs on everything. Increase them prices because I'm going to be invested in it. I'm going to go up with you. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? I truly, I don't hate that man. I'm gonna pray for his soul because I think he's gonna be at the back of the line when it's that time. But you know, I'm not here to judge, you know, and I'm gonna pray for that. But I don't. Do you, sir? Do you? The wealth opportunities are here. Because at the end of the day, is Walmart gonna go bankrupt in 3 years? Within the next 3 years, do we think Walmart is gonna go bankrupt? No, we know it's not. Matter of fact, so get your butt in it and get those kids in it. So F is for the financial statements. Y'all have got to learn how to read these financial statements, okay? You have to, because financial statements is why I took my money out of Target and I put it all in Walmart. Okay? The financial statements is why I took my money out of Home Depot and I put it all into Lowe's. For real? Somebody asked me if I was speaking hypothetically and I'm for real. Now, why would I not want to be invested in Home Depot anymore? Anybody heard anything about them? Yep. Now let's talk beverages. What's my favorite beverage company to invest in? They contributed to Trump's inauguration. That too. T. What's my, who knows, my favorite beverage company? Or what is a beverage company that you can think about that's on the stock market? Pepsi, you already know it. I love me some Pepsi because I have insider information. They know PepsiCo. I got that insider information on it. I love to invest in Pepsi. It makes me a bag. It makes me a bag simply because I watch their financial statements. I ask about their shelf life. Are they increasing or decreasing their shelf life, et cetera, et cetera? And we were able to recognize when they expanded their shelf space, hey, they must have some sort of acquisition coming. They must have some sort of collaboration coming. And now we see Pepsi, they so wealthy, they could buy Poppy for $1 billion and they still have a savings account. And they still have a savings account. A lot of times people will say, well, Coca-Cola is a better company than Pepsi. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to pull up that financial statement and check the revenue. You need to check and see the debt. Okay, now Pepsi does have a lot of debt. I don't know what they got going on with that. Pepsi got a lot of debt, okay? But their free cash flow takes care of it, their revenue takes care of it. Bro. When I be looking at that balance sheet sometimes, I'm like, dang, who they CFO? I'm confused. So now the difference between growth stocks and value stocks. Growth stock, put that in your child's account so that you can grow with them, so that these companies can grow with them. So the difference between a growth company and a value company is going to be, a growth company would be I think that's a Ferrari, whatever that red sports car is. That's a growth company. Whereas a value stock is going to be more stable. So it's going to be like that little Hyundai over there. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between it. So a growth company that's on the stock market right now is Tesla. I gotta stop using Tesla as an example. Next. Because let's see. NVIDIA, let's just go NVIDIA. Any technology company is really a growth company. Apple is still considered a growth company because they're ever growing. Technology will always change every year, right? It gets crazy. So, but then a value company that I will never get rid of is Johnson & Johnson. Not only do they pay me dividends, or I'm even go Procter & Gamble. Not only do they pay me dividends, but a majority of the world cares about their hygiene. Therefore, Procter & Gamble is just not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Colgate, it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Clorox, it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. You know? So there's a difference. It's important to know, is this company a growth company or is it a value stable company? Because I'm not putting Tesla in my kid's account. For what? That means I gotta watch the news every week. I gotta see, because now the administration done put out that Elon Musk is a crackhead. Like that. I don't want that in. We see what, and then it dropped 3.5% yesterday. I don't want to put that in my child's account. Do I want to put United Healthcare, Exxon, ETS, and all that stuff? Absolutely. All right. Look, y'all, I'm going to try so hard not to be sarcastic on this screen. I'm going to try so hard, okay? A bank is paying you back 0.01% in interest a year. Yet you take your check and you put it into that account every 2 weeks. Come on, man. Come on. We want to make money, right? And then that 0.01% that they paying you in interest, don't they charge you transaction fees? Don't they charge you to withdraw your money? Yeah, I'm gonna need you to put your money into a high yield savings account. You're gonna get back 5% interest. Now, the beautiful part about it is especially with your children's account, Fidelity has a high yield savings account that's damn near 5%. Yet you still putting your money in Bank of America with that 0.01%. I'm confused. I'm real confused. I'm very confused. You're gonna have higher interest rates. Your money is always acceptable. Banks and credit unions and your brokerages have high yield savings accounts. Your brokerages will allow you to buy CDs, have a high yield savings account. You could have a traditional savings account as well, but those are dinosaurs now. We don't Those are dinosaurs now. You making JP Morgan wealthier. You're making Bank of America and Wells Fargo and all of these companies wealthier. Simply yeah. That's all I got. Y'all feel me on that though? You have got to take your money out of anything that is paying you less than 0.5%. You worked for that. You're gonna go work 80 hours a check. I don't know how many work hours? How many is 40 hours a week? Or is it 35? What's the hours? I don't know nothing about that life. 40. Okay, so you're gonna do 80 hours every 2 weeks. What's the math? Somebody do the math for me real quick. So if you work at 80 hours, 160 a month, what's 160 times 12? 1,920 manual labor hours to get back less than 0.5% in interest off your money. Yet they're making money by you putting it in there. And y'all know the bank is only legally required to hold 10% of your cash on hand. So let's say that the banks fail, which we just saw that happen about 2 years ago. We saw a lot of banks fail. A lot of people couldn't get all their money that was in their accounts because what do they do with the other 90%? If I put $100 in there, legally, they have to keep $10 of cash on hand. What are they gonna do with the other $90? Give it up, give my $90, my hardworking money out in a loan to someone else who is probably gonna default on it in this economy. High yield savings account, babes. High yield savings account. Somebody got to preach. I said I was gonna try not to be too harsh on this, but some of this stuff is just like, I'm gonna say it however I gotta say it so that y'all remember it and then go do it. The best thing I ever did was well, first off, I don't even use a freaking bank account anymore. I keep maybe about $2,000 on a debit card because now I know what I know, right? I'm going to put it in something where my money will grow. So whether it's my brokerage with the investments, a high yield savings account, CDs, but it'll never, ever, ever be in a traditional savings account ever again. When you know better, you do better. Index funds, these are much like the ETFs, but they're a little bit broader. They do cost a little bit less than an ETF, okay? And you're just gonna have even more diversification. So it's like with the ETF, we're getting a very specific theme of companies. Whereas with an index fund, which an ETF is just another type of fund, right? Whereas with an index fund, we're able to get exposure to all of those asset classes that we talked about earlier with the stocks, bonds, and cash. You're gonna have some treasury bills in there, all that stuff, right? This is included in there. You have to order money or call to ask if they have that amount, which is ridiculous. On average, people are working 1,920 hours. Let you get some overtime. We're just gonna say 2,000 hours a year to make somebody else wealthy, and you only getting back 0.01%. Man, hell no. That's why they keep us where we at. I really set myself up for failure with this PowerPoint. I'm gonna try not to be sarcastic with this one too, okay? They say if you want to hide something from Black people, put it in a book. Or put it in the news. You don't get to ignore the news anymore, my babes. You really don't. You have to watch. You have to keep up with the economy. You have to keep up with the news. You have to keep up with the geopolitical issues that are going on. You have to. One, it just makes you well-rounded and intelligent, right? But two, you taking back control. You're not gonna give anybody the power to tell you what's going on, to tell you where to put your money. Because right now, y'all don't let me get started. Y'all hyping me up in the chat and everything. Because right now, not everybody somebody got to be a nurse. I'm looking at a nurse, but somebody has to be a lawyer. Somebody got to do transportation, right? Not everybody wants to be retired, be an entrepreneur and all that stuff. Got it. There's amazing jobs out there, teachers and, or careers and things that people want to be in. Okay, cool. I got it. But you couldn't tell me that if you could do it part-time and still do your passion, but then still make even more money on the side, you couldn't tell me that's not what you would do. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be ignorant to the things that are, and not ignorant in the technical definition. Y'all, I know I use that word a little bit too much. By the technical definition, meaning we just don't know, we don't know something. We can't do that anymore. Does anybody know what our current interest rates are? Watch it, RN for life. Investing right now though. But no, I didn't say anything. I love nurses. I couldn't do it. That's what I'm saying. Somebody got to do it. I'm in here with a whole hat on because I got my eyes swollen, them dang kids. Somebody got to be a nurse, help me out. But also, do you want to be a nurse for the rest of your life, working 2 jobs and 80 hours every 2 weeks, 160 hours a week or a month? Maybe you do. Okay. She said, oh no, I'm tired. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. So what's our current interest rates? I encourage you all to go find out what the current interest rates are, because that should stop you from buying anything else on credit. That should stop you from trying to go get a loan. And honestly, that should stop your ass from moving. It should stop you from buying a house. It should stop you doing a whole lot of stuff. Right now, you really just need to freeze. You really just need to freeze. Am I speaking to somebody in here? This K1, she said, yes, period. Yes, period. Now, this K1 form, y'all are gonna have this in your resources when I send it to you, like more in depth, because this like a whole thing here. But this K1 form, I want y'all to always keep this in mind. You need to file a K1 tax form. This form every year. No, you do not need to wait until you're making $250,000. I've been audited every year since I made my first 7 figures. I've been audited every year. And I really feel like it's because they looking like, now how your black ass get this? They audit me every year. Make sure you have this, okay? Y'all feel me? Taxes, keep them taxes in order, especially for your children, because you just don't want them to be 18 coming out into the world with hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, whatever it is, and they're not properly prepared for how to file their taxes and get these loopholes back. And I guess what I'm thinking of right now is the Chrisleys. You know what? I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. And I know a lot of people are making it a racial thing right now. Okay, cool. If I was as wealthy as that, I had connections, I'd be getting my people out too. Don't hate the player, never the game. These loopholes, I'm cool with it. People will sit and they'll be like, oh my gosh, it's not fair. Amazon didn't have to pay any taxes last year. Well, baby, follow what they did. Figure out how a billion, damn near $1 trillion company got away without having to pay taxes. Find that out. And when you want to do that too, I'm really asking, would you, if you're making $1 million, do you want to pay your quote unquote fair share in taxes, or do you want to get a loophole? You want to find a loophole somewhere and get a tax cut, get a tax break? Which one? One for tax break, two for I'll pay my share in taxes. That's what I thought. So why would we be talking about them doing it? Maybe you're just a little jelly that they're doing it. When whole time we can just come learn how to do it ourselves, right? So make sure y'all sign up for Tax Strategies for Investors at Wall Street Reunion Academy. I'm gonna drop a link for y'all in a little bit with a discount. Go ahead and pay me today. Thank you. L is for liquidity. Woo, Jesus, y'all. You need liquidity. Please don't be like me. Please do not be like me. You need liquidity, not too much, but you still need to have some money that is some liquid assets, okay? Illiquid assets is things that we can't sell quickly. So that's gonna be like real estate, if you got artwork, shit, stuff like that. Whereas your liquid assets is gonna be our stocks and bonds and cash. Make sure you have more liquid assets than illiquid. Yeah, we love real estate and property and all of this stuff, but if in order for us to sell a house and to get that money, that's gonna take us like 30 to 60 days on the low end. And in this market, this housing market, I don't know, probably even a little bit more than that if you're trying to get the true value, and make money from it. So That is something that I'm gonna get transparent here. That is something that I've struggled with on the business side in the fiscal year 2025. Is I did really who been who's in swing trades with me? Put a 3 in the chat if you in swing trades with me and we've been making money this year. Period. Now here's where I messed up. A lot of my swing trades, I put them inside of my Roth IRA. Let me tell y'all why that wasn't a good thing. I can't sell what's in my individual retirement account. If I sell it, I just triggered a taxable event. So I'm not thinking. I'm taking and putting all this money into my retirement account, into the kids' retirement account, and it's growing. I'm looking at it grow. But if I sell it, I'm clapping myself in the booty. I messed up, and I started the year off setting myself up with a lot of illiquidity, right? So just make sure that you do have liquid assets because yeah, we're doing this, and yeah, they say like, oh, invest for the future, like buy and don't ever sell. Yeah, that's true, but we still got to pay ourselves out, or it's not worth it, right? So be liquid, be like the water. Now, market capitalization. This is very, very, very important. In your child's, I'm just gonna be straight up. This is me. If you walk away from here and you said that didn't make sense, if you take it to the internet, I'm gonna take it to God. All right. This me. Do not put a large cap company in your minor's retirement account. Why? Because that company done already grew. I'm not saying don't put Apple in your child's retirement account. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am saying if your child is 3 years old, do you really need to focus on Microsoft, which is already a well-established company? Or should we go to Microsoft's supply chain and look at the growth companies, the mid cap and the small cap companies that are helping Microsoft be who they are? Then your child can grow with that. You put Microsoft in your account so that you can sell some profit, take some profit and go on a vacation and do whatever you got to do. In your child's account, put a small cap and a mid cap account and let it grow with them. Does that make sense? I know I'm like going through it fast, but it's because we spent more time earlier, but does that make sense? Let these companies grow with your child in their retirement account. And it's for news. Watch it. Watch it. Now I watch all 5 of, is it all 5 or all of these? What's the proper way to say that? I watch all these. Okay. Now the reason why is because I need to know what the lefties are saying. I say like I need to know what the conservative white men are saying, and I need to know what the liberal white or what the liberal black women are saying. So by me looking at Yahoo Finance and Bloomberg, well, I'll take Yahoo Finance, which is pretty liberal, and Associated Press, which is pretty conservative, they could put the same topic out, and you're gonna get 2 different viewpoints. Yeah, media journalism is biased. It's just there's no way that media in the news can't be non-biased, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna see what the most conservative and the most liberal are saying, and I'll meet it in the middle with my opinion and my goals. Now, this is the options trading. And what I want to talk about as far as like with legacy for the options trading is a couple of no-nos. Do not put options contracts into your child's IRA. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's too risky, and we're here for stability. Little Susie Q's only 3 years old. She don't need no damn option contract, okay? She needs some bonds. She needs some currency. You need to put Bitcoin, crypto, all that. You put that in there and let it grow with them. And then come here. Now, remember we talked about the financial statements, okay? This is the one thing that I highly encourage you all to learn. You have to learn what a PE ratio is. And we're simply just taking the price of the company, the current price of the company, And then we're gonna divide it by their earnings for the last 12 months. It's gonna give you this little bitty number, like a 1 point something like that, okay? And if we see that Apple has a PE ratio of 20, and now let's go Ford. If we see that Ford has a PE ratio of 1.7 and Tesla has a PE ratio of 20.5, which one is safer? Tesla or Ford? Which one is safer to invest in? By definition of the PE ratio, which is just a metric that we can use to evaluate the stock, right? So we can compare the stocks to each other. Which one would we want to put in our child's account, Ford or Tesla? Wake up. F for Ford, wake up. Ford or Tesla? Toyota is a better option than Ford. I think Toyota actually that has really good. I don't know. Let's go on a side quest. Because if we being totally honest, Ford is not that great of a company. Toyota, yes, 190. Let's see how much they made last year. Annual. 315 billion. Toyota? They got a spot in Frisco. They sure do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I like Toyota better. Oh, everybody in the chat saying Toyota for the win. I like Toyota better. No shades. Yeah, is Japanese is let's see. Is this is I thought they were Japanese. Yeah, they are. It's automobiles are Japan, North America, Europe, and Asia. Y'all, not y'all gonna see me do a poster reel about this. Did y'all just 315 billion? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We can't go with just that. Let's see how much debt they have. Let's see how much debt they got. So then we click on the free cash flow. Well, my bad. Let's go. Let me go back. I'm gonna click on the balance sheet. I'm gonna click all of this, and we're gonna look at their net debt. Oh, hell no. How you make 315 billion, but you have 200 billion in debt? Would y'all still, after seeing that? Well, I know I just said OH small, but don't. I'm asking y'all. Oh, hold on. Annual. Yeah, it's still. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Revenue versus debt. Toyota is almost the only car in most African countries. Oh, okay. Toyota is a very reliable motor. It's in the Caribbean. Not the Caribbean here in the chat, period. Caribbean. I don't know how y'all feel about that. 315 million in revenue, 100, well, we're just gonna say 200 billion in debt. Now let's look at their savings account. With negative 7 billion. You know what? Next. Now you see how quick we just moving on. You have -7. Yeah, I'm with that. But still, that PE ratio. Well, hold on. Let's look at the PE ratio of Toyota, which is just here at the top, is 7.8. And we'll compare it to we could even do GM. We ain't gonna do Ford because I understand that Ford is not what that is. So we'll compare it to Ford. GM, look, 7. Price to earnings is 7 for GM. It's lower, so this is safer. And if I come over to the free cash flow, 33 million. Hold on, that's quarterly. Oh, okay. You know what though? I would expect for all of these cars to have bad whatchamacallit right now. But okay, so they made 100, or they got 101 billion in debt. And then they making 188 billion. So basically, I feel like I would not put a car in my child's account. Because when I was a kid, I don't even think electric vehicles existed. So that industry is probably going to change in a way that, I don't know. We'll see. Lord, bless my soul. I was going to say something about Elon. Bless it, Jesus. Bless it. Honda. Oh, Honda's not publicly traded. Mm-mm. Hyundai is. Let's look at that one. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but Honda is not. Isn't it Toyota Honda? Is that not a thing? And Hyundai, I could have sworn that's not on the US market. Don't forget the steel tariffs coming. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if I would put. You can't sue me for saying this, but I don't think I would put that in mind. I don't think. But that just takes us back to what we Acura and Honda, Lexus and Toyota. I ain't with it. Okay. Now, earnings, babes. If you are invested in an individual company, you need to know how much they make in every quarter. So the same way that we just sat here and we looked at that, because it sounded good. We was all excited for a second. 315 billion, what? But then I go and I look at the full picture of their financial statement, and it's just like, oh, this is a no-go. No thanks. Now, little fun fact, one of the best times to enter into swing trades and leaps is during earnings season. It's during earnings season. Why? Because this is when investors are paying the most attention to these companies because they putting all their business out there. This is what it's like. So it'll be like a calendar, and then these are all the different companies that are going to show us their financial statements on that day. Earnings season, so just every quarter, every 3 months, it'd be like a certain time that they'll start to come out. And so they just call it earnings season, and the prices do some pretty big moves because we seeing, did y'all make less this quarter? If they made less, typically the price will drop. But if it's a good company, because Apple's price has dropped some quarters, but it's Apple. That ain't going nowhere. So the lower Apple goes, the more excited I get. So it's usually typically earnings season is one of the best times to get into your long-term plays as well as to dollar cost average into some more equity, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on this, okay? I promise I'm keeping up with the time. I got it. Although I'm really proud of y'all because y'all been rocking for 5 hours. I'm talking my mouth dry. I'm talking about I'm not calling out no plays on Monday. I'm talking about I'm gonna have substitutes in class on Monday. I'm talking about I'm ignoring everything and telling you to go to feeding. Tired. But let's talk about these Roth IRAs. Do y'all love your children? Do you love your child? That's messed up. I just asked you that, ain't it? I want y'all to close your eyes and just picture that sweet face. First time that they laid on your chest full of all that placenta and stuff. Just think about that moment. The first time you looked in their eyes. The first time they called you mom or dad or mommy or daddy, whatever, you know, just y'all have this warm, gooey feeling right now. You do? Do you? Can you just feel their love? She said, no, I have teens. No? Oh, well, damn. I said, remember back when they first laid on your chest. Don't think about they mouth now. Think about when they were 2 years old and they were cute and they came running to you and saying all this cute stuff, right? So you love them. All right. You swore to protect them. You swore to do for them. Babes, waking up and being a consumer parent, that ain't doing it. What's a consumer parent? A consumer parent is someone who spoils their child by being a consumer. Uh, hmm. Did I just hit somebody? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be a consumer parent or a consumer aunt, godparent, uncle, whatever it is. Don't spoil your child by being a consumer because you're raising them to be a consumer. Spoil your child by being an owner. Make them an owner. Make them an owner. Y'all know it's the twins' birthday on Thursday. They wanted Jada wanted the iPad, Javen wanted the phone. All right, bet. They told me that's what they wanted around Christmas because it's, it gave me six months. So in Christmas, they said that that's what they want for their birthday in May. So all right, bet. Now what y'all have to do is y'all are gonna have to go trade Apple. Because what the hell am I finna buy a $700 iPad and a $1,200 phone for just to make y'all consumers? No, if this is what y'all want, y'all are gonna go trade Apple every Friday when we do our portfolio review, and I do mean every Friday. They know, but they love it too because that's when they get their allowance. But every Friday, y'all need to tell me what Apple did on the market that week. Y'all need to tell me what happened on the news. Now, are they actively trading? No, because they're 11, they're in school, and their mama get mad when I be making them pull charts up at school. Well, she really just a freaking hater. Because, girl, I'm trying to make them owners. Like, let them trade at school, bro. We're trying to make some money. But anyways, with that, right, they have to let me know. Of course, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna do the work. They're minors. I'll do that. But it's the fact that they understand the concept of, oh, it's too easy for Amy to get us this iPad or this phone because we own Apple. They already know that. Don't ask me for nothing that we don't own. We went to Target. Hey, they wanted to go to Target. Leave me alone. I'm not a hypocrite. We went to Target and they was in there trying to pick up some they always arguing. They was picking up stuff and they would look at me and they'd be like, "Do we own Dove?" I'd be like, "Yep." "Do we own Axe?" And I was like, "Yes." So the same company that owns Dove owns Axe. So y'all can get that body wash. Y'all can get that soap. And then looked at me and was like, "Oh, okay, do we own I think it was like EOS?" And I said, "No, and that lotion expensive and we don't own it, put it down. Put it down and get that Johnson and Johnson. We own them and they pay us to own them." Y'all feel me? I want to pause right here. Y'all feel what I'm trying to tell you? Spoil your child by making them owners, not consumers. And there's a lot of ways where you can make it fun. Because I asked someone the other day, like, what's something that you spent money on last month because you had to? And she said, well, it was my son's birthday, so I got him some beats. I said, you didn't have to do that. You wanted to do that because it depreciated. As soon as you bought it, you just lost $300 and you're never getting it back. If you tried to sell it for $300, nobody would buy it. You probably have to sell it for like 150. So yeah, you gave them a memory. They'll probably break it for one. I've learned that with kids. They will probably break it. They'll probably lose it. Someone will probably steal it if they sneak it off to school or the park or whatever it is. Or it has a short shelf life with their attention span. That $300 Beats just depreciated the second that you even made your mind up to buy it. Right? But if you go in there and you told them, hey, let's look at this chart, let's look at Apple. You want to get these Beats back. If Apple goes from this green candle to this green candle, you're gonna be able to make enough money to buy Beats and AirPods and a new phone. You think them kids not gonna get excited about that? Anytime that I drive past a place with those kiddos, if we drive past Home Depot, hey y'all, we own Home Depot. Hey y'all, we own Walmart. I love walking in Walmart with them and saying like, you own this shit, right? You own this, right? They work for you. You own this, and it makes them very excited. And it also is making this like a second nature conversation. Let Make sure that you're the last generation that says I don't know anything about this. I think that I would feel like I have failed at my purpose here in life if them kids get older, where's my god kids or my niece, if they get older and I'm gonna think I failed if my kids go get a job. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. Now look, if they decide they want to be a teacher or a coach or a nurse and save lives and shit, all right, cool. But if they trying to do it because they want to go be like working construction or something, I fucking failed. Because why don't you want to start a construction business? Why don't you want to collaborate and partner with Home Depot? Ownership. Now, how does this tie into the Roth IRA? This is their individual retirement account. You put that in there because it's tax-free. If you open up a Roth IRA, everything that you put for your daughter in this Roth IRA, when she turns 18, she don't have to pay a single freaking penny in taxes. Not a dime, not a cent, nothing. Everything you put in there is non-taxable. Everything in there is non-taxable. It don't matter if she was 6 years old when you started buying it, 6 months years old when she started buying it. At 18, she can cash out and not pay any taxes. She could walk away with at 18, have $250,000 in an account and owe no taxes on it. Open a Roth IRA. And which brokerage is the best one to use for a minor? Let me test y'all real quick. We almost done with the alphabet. Somebody out here said it. Let me know in the chat. What's the best brokerage for you? My youngest is hyped. She owns ELF and tells her friend every time she buys ELF, she gets money. You feel me? You feel me? That's what I was saying earlier. Thank y'all for doing what y'all had to, thank y'all for buying those Johnson & Johnson products because y'all paid me very well last month. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a consumer. Make sure you're an owner too. Now, if and when you do decide to buy individual stocks for your children, there's 2 ways I suggest you do it. That I would advise, suggest, whatever it is, you can't sue me. Amen. The ways I would say that you should do it is buy the sector ETFs. Remember we talked about the exchange traded funds, the ETFs? Bruh. Each sector that's on the market, so we're gonna have the technology sector. We'll have the financial sector, which you can now own Visa, JP Morgan. You can own insurance companies, all that stuff, right? They all have their own basket because it's thematic, remember? Thematic, Judge Mammy, whatever it is. So get that. Just get the basket. Or, and it's just known as a sector ETF. Or I would choose the top company in each sector and put that in there. Put that in there. Because where is Apple gonna go? Well, I guess Microsoft is. Well, now they said NVIDIA, the largest company in the world now. They keep going back between Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, but where is Apple gonna go anytime soon? They have a monopoly. If we look at the, if we look at the healthcare sector, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit. And even if you don't know what any of these tickers are, let's just go with what is a company, what's a healthcare company you can think of? Yeah, anything, like any sort of Blue Cross Blue Shield, period. Make a bad yeah. We got Pfizer. Yes, we got Pfizer because we can't forget about the little shots. What they call it, the whatever I didn't do, Moderna, period. Do we think that the healthcare sector is ever growing, or does the healthcare sector stay stagnant? Always. Every time I turn around, they got some kind of new something in phase 3. We close to curing cancer. We're close to curing Alzheimer's, all this stuff, right? And the more technology grows, y'all listen to me. I'm gonna give y'all like $1 million game right here. For every technology company that you own, let me say it the other way. For every healthcare company that you own, you need to own the technology company that's helping them grow. For every healthcare company that you own, you need to own the technology company that's helping them grow, because now your portfolio has a monopoly over curing Alzheimer's, or it has, exposure to curing Alzheimer's, whatever it is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say? Well, not trying, but y'all know what I'm saying? We almost done. Y'all adults, y'all know the alphabet. Don't lose me yet. Don't get lost yet. We on S. Let me know in the chat. You feel what I'm saying? For every healthcare company you own, You should be owning the technology company that is helping it grow. Amen. Thank you, Kiana. Because Kiana, no, I want them ones and twos. Because then that's how I know that I got y'all. Now, I want everybody to scan this book right now. Scan this QR code. This is the book that we're going to start reading Sunday. And it's going to be in the Discord. I'm going to be doing this with book club. If you want to hide something, that's what they say. You want to hide something from Black people, put it in a book. So I'm giving y'all the book that is going to help you become one of the best traders, clear up a lot of stuff, help you to think through it. And this is, I know it's saying technical analysis, which we know we're looking at that more so for trading, but the concepts of this book is very long-term. It's like long-term growth, long-term thinking. So y'all put a 5 in the chat whenever y'all have scanned the QR code and downloaded it. But I want y'all we're gonna start reading this on Sunday, and we're gonna read 2 to 3 chapters a week. No, you can literally just, yes, it's a struggle. 5, okay. We're gonna read it together because then my book club got kind of quiet and I'm getting it back. Okay. We skip those and go to W because I see y'all hopping off too. Wealth building. Start with your foundation of knowing. Okay. Look, I was gonna look around because I'm gonna talk shit about my god kids for a sec. One of them is not going to college. He's not going to college. He has peaked. He's handsome. He's cute. He loves working with me on the business. That baby ain't going to college. He not. I understand that's the. I love him, you guys. I love him. Now his sister, she's probably gonna cost me $1 million in tuition because I'm pretty sure she's gonna get a doctorate. She wants to be a vet, and I see her doing it. She loves school. She's gonna go all the way. So I understand the foundation of who my kids are. My God, but y'all know them, who my kids are, right? So since I understand that, am I gonna build a college savings plan for the one who peaked in the 5th grade? No. No. Therefore, I know what type of assets that I need to put into his account because I know who he is. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, my baby is two years old. My baby is 5. One day she wants to be a fireman. The next day she want to be the police, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Got it. You still start investing. You still be building the foundation, but as they grow into who they are, you need to get the assets on there with them, right? Always start with assets. My goal was that by the time all of them were 10, they would own property. That's next. Once we start building those assets, let the assets pay for some like your assets like stocks and bonds and CDs and crypto and all of that. Let that pay for your real estate. And I'm not talking about estate, the next tier up, but let that pay for like the real estate, so like the snowball method kind of with what you're buying and putting in there. Don't start off like trying to say, I'm trying to put $100,000 into this account right now. Because baby, if you got $100,000, would you like to be an investor in Wall Street Ben Black? I'll make you some money. Other than that, let's start off building because you got years to do it. Now, after we've built the foundation and we have the assets going in there, we know who they are. Now you need to focus on the estate planning. I'm going to talk about death real quick. Let y'all go, I promise. I'm going to talk about death. You're going to die. We're all going to die. It's inevitable. By the grace of God, we should probably go before our children, right? But, knock on wood. That's why I pray just like the natural order goes in. Okay, cool. God's in this conversation. We got it. More than likely, you will pass away before your child. And I have another one of those questions where I really want y'all to think about it because this is something that I ask myself every quarter when I'm doing their portfolio reviews. If you were to pass away today, would you want your If you were to pass away today, where would your child go? Do you know who your child would live with? Do you think that the person that your child would, by default, if you don't have any paperwork, goes to live with, would they raise your child in the way that you wanted them raised? Would they continue to invest in them? If you did have any assets to leave them, would their guardian make sure that those assets went to them, or would they F off on the assets? If you were to pass away today, does your child have a college fund set up? Because a lot of stuff can happen. We can get on the road and God forbid, we can get in the sky, God forbid, right? I think about that every quarter when I'm reviewing their portfolios. Could I go right now and it would be okay? And if the answer is no, like it's not a shame thing, it's a hey, we the same. I'm you me. We the same. I'm nothing special. Well, I'm very special actually, but y'all know what I'm saying. We the same. You need to have an estate plan. You have to. And I'm talking about, yes, I have a will, and yes, I have a trust, and I don't have to worry about any of it. You need to have both, but especially the trust. I don't have to worry about anything. These motherfuckers think that they, one of them told me yesterday that he couldn't wait till he turned 18. And I was like, what? And he said, so I can get my money. And I said, oh, you don't get this till I die, sucker. Please. What is this mine? I'm working for this. You don't get this till I die. But in actuality, right, they don't need to know this. They're getting a lump sum at 18, but they only get a lump sum at 18 if they go to college, the military, or start a business. If you decide you just want to be out here in the streets, hey, bro, go make the money in the streets. You're not getting mine. If they go to college, college will be paid for and room and board. If they go to the military, they for damn sure not staying in the barracks. I ain't letting that happen. So room and board will be paid for with that. If they decide to start a business, you need to make some profit before you get any of mine. You're gonna need to show the financial advisor, the beneficiary, I mean the executor of the trust and all of that. You won't have to prove that you got this. Now, if they come work for me, I do have it set where they get access to everything if they come work for me, because one of them got to take my legacy over. So I just figured I'd try to bribe them like that, or blackmail, maybe that's what it is, right? But yeah, like Miss Tracy said, please have a will, a power of attorney, and a healthcare directive immediately. Immediately. Because people who are sitting in front of me right now, God forbid, you could get back on the road. I'm just saying, you need to have it right now. And it's free to set up. And with the trust, you can be very specific. Because y'all know how I feel about my baby mama. She ain't touching shit. Them kids get it though. And I don't even have to have a conversation. It's in the trust. You can't go to probate court. You can't try to say anything about it because I specifically put it in the trust. This is who gets what at what time and under what reasons. Okay. Have this paperwork. I know we don't want to talk about it. I know we all young and wild and living free. All right. All right. And then after that, share the knowledge. This isn't a subject that we need to shy away from. When my grandmother passed away, my mom and my uncle were still, well, I should say, still fighting over a house. Fighting over a house. Anybody else been through that in their families or heard of someone else going through it with their family? Grandma passed away, now everybody beefed up. They beefed up over a house just to turn around and sell the house. Anybody gone through that? My dad and his siblings, you feel me? Have a trust. Have a trust. Have a trust. You cannot have just a will because a will can go through probate court. Your neighbor can say, well, I took her trash out every day. I was the only one who came around here, and they could go to probate court and try to get a claim on it. You have a trust, it cannot go through probate court. So a huge part of wealth building is making sure that you have, what's the word? That you've allocated. I was trying to sound fancy. That you said where your money gonna go. You determined where it's gonna go to who, where, and why. Okay. And then the last one that I want to go through with you all is budgeting. You're not broke, you're just unorganized with your funds. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't believe that anybody is broke. I believe that people don't know how to budget. And this is coming from, y'all know I share this all the time, whether I don't, whether you follow me on Threads, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. But you're talking to a reformed crackhead. Just dumb stuff. Very much so, very sober. Give me my flowers in the chat. Love that for myself, right? I was never broke. I was just spending it on stupid stuff. Who has the Uber app downloaded on their phone, yet you got some bread and some sandwich meat at your house? Oh, you're not broke. You're just choosing convenience over wealth. In my opinion, one of the best budgeting plans is the zero-based budgeting. This works for me because I'm a spendthrift, and I don't want to deprive myself while I'm budgeting. So what I do is my money is allocated. I allocate my funds to each category until my balance is at zero, and then I just track my spending throughout like the month or the pay period, whatever the case is, right? I'm gonna do that because what I have left over, if I say, okay, I got 3,000 left over this month, baby, I promise you by the 30th, I'm probably gonna have about $20 left because I'm gonna spend it. This is what I allocated to go out there and do what I want. But it can only come after I have paid my fixed expenses, so that's our bills. Then I have invested. And sometimes let me not say that, be better than me. So then I've invested. Then I have put money into an emergency savings account, and then you go spend. You don't get to spend before you took care of your future. Okay? Unfortunate. And I know maybe, because I get this all the time. People are like, well, you're not a mom. You don't really understand. I understand sacrifice. I understand what sacrificing for a couple of years because I did it. I sacrificed for a couple of years, and now I'm in a position where it's like, hey, I love you. Here you go. And I'm cool with it. I can look back now and say, man, them was some rough 2 years. I didn't go on vacations. I was doing my nails at home. I wasn't going to the club. I wasn't going out to eat. But now I could walk into a store and really buy whatever the frick I want to buy. So it's like, what do you want to do? You want to have a hard and responsible couple of years and then live the rest of your life carefree? Or do you want to just keep living for now and then just be complacent and just basically just stay in the same loop for a lifetime, which then keeps your kids in the same loop for a lifetime? Do something different for a couple of years. I promise you it's going to change your life. I promise. Because Wall Street been black. Or because history repeats itself and Wall Street been black, right? I'm telling you. Go on a financial fast for a couple of years. You're not depriving yourself. You're setting yourself and your kids up for better. You don't need to go on that vacation. You want to. Okay, cool. Plan to go in 2 years after that compound interest done kicked in. Go then. Sit back for a couple of years. Let this be your focus. Let the fixed expenses, I have to invest in this. I mean, I have to go pay this bill and I have to invest in this. Let that be at the forefront. Especially, y'all, I'm gonna stop the recording because now I'm gonna and pieces of Wall Street been black. Crap.